What's up, guys? Today we'll be comparing the Nexus 6 versus the Nexus 5. So do note that the Nexus 6 isn't released yet. It's just rumors for right now. These rumors are pretty spot on. I think that we'll definitely see these rumors come to life with the next Nexus phone to be announced sometime in October or November this 2014. So for the specifications with the Nexus 6 versus the Nexus 5, the Nexus 6 is supposed to have a LG G3 light 2K display, while the Nexus 5 on the other hand has a pretty good display at 5 inches with a 1080p display. So the Nexus 5 does have a 445 pixels per inch, and the Nexus 6 is supposed to be superior with a 534 pixel density. So talking about the design of the Nexus 5, it has a sort of an understated plastic look. So the Nexus 6 is supposed to have aluminum edges with a really thin bezel, so it's going to be look really nice, and hopefully they actually do go with that design. I'd be really happy with that. So talking about more of the specifications, the Nexus 6 is supposed to have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 805 processor clocked at 2.7 gigahertz, while the Nexus 5 doesn't have a bad processor with a quad-core 800 Snapdragon 800 clocked at 2.3 gigahertz. So now the Nexus 6 will house a 3 gigabytes of RAM and come with 16 or 32 gigabytes of storage. We're probably not going to see a micro SD card slot. The Nexus 5 houses a 2 gigabytes of RAM and also has 16 32 gigabytes of storage with no micro SD card slot, so I wouldn't count on the micro SD card slot. So for the batteries, so the Nexus 6 is supposed to have a 3100 milliamp battery, a 13 megapixel rear, and a 5 megapixel front facing camera, while the Nexus 5 features a 2300 milliamp battery. So the battery life is supposed to be greatly improved and does have an 8 megapixel rear and 1.3 megapixel front facing camera. So the Nexus 5 you can get for at 32 gigabytes. You can get it for about $500 off contract. We don't know how the Nexus 6 what the price is. I bet it's going to be affordable most likely. So they're both supposed to be running the latest Android L. The Nexus 5 already has it, so I'm guessing the Nexus 6 will most definitely ship with Android L. So what do you guys think about these improvements that they're making with the Nexus 6? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.